In this video we'll take a look at how you can create your own dialog components. So you would start out by clicking new on the web control panel and then choosing web component and then choosing a dialog, and Alpha 5 version 11 will ship with several predefined templates, but I don't have any installed right now, so I'll just start with a blank dialog right now. And now I can go directly to controls and start adding controls to the dialog. So let's start by adding a text box, and you can see now that I can add one control at a time. So let's go here and call this first name, and we'll make the label the same as the control over there. So there you go, we have our first control on the dialog, and when we switch to working preview we see the control over there. Or when we go and add controls, we can add many controls at one time. So now we'll go here and we'll type in last name, address, city, state, zip, and then if we want to go and assign a data type to any particular field, we could do that, and we could go here and say date of birth, and we can make that into a date field over there, and then click OK. And now we've added several controls at once, and when we switch to working preview we can see our controls are over there. But there's still another method as well that you can do, that you can use to speed up the placement of controls on the dialog. And let's go here and create a new dialog. So I'll go dialog component, and again we'll start with a blank dialog, and I'll go now to controls. I'll click on text box, and again in the create multiple new controls at once, I'm going to say populate the list from a table. And now I can specify either a SQL table or a DBF table. So I'm going to go now and choose a SQL table, and I'm going to choose a connection string that takes me to SQL Server Northwind, and let's choose the customer table from Northwind, and I can specify all fields or selected fields. So these are the fields in that table. I'll just go ahead and choose all fields over here, and then click OK, and then again click OK, and Alpha 5 now is creating all the controls for me. And then when I switch to working preview, I can see here's my dialog component, and it has all the fields from that table. So we've presented three different ways in which you can add controls to the dialog, one at a time, multiple at a time, or importing the controls from a table. There's also the ability to add controls from a control library, and we'll talk about that next. So before you can add controls from a control library, you have to put controls into a control library. So you can see here we've got our dialog, and let's say that these controls from there to there are controls that I would like to be, that I expect to use over and over again in many different dialogs that I create. So I'm going to highlight those controls, go to the menu, and then I'm going to say save selected controls in a library, and I'll give it a name. So I'll just call this control set 1 and give it a description, and then click OK. And now if I go to, let's create a new dialog component over here, and go to controls, and now go to my menu, and I'm going to go here and say load controls from the library. So you can see there's my library entry over there, and I'll go ahead there and click OK. And Alpha 5 is loading the controls from the library, and you can see there that the controls have been added to the current dialog. So there are multiple ways of adding controls to a dialog component. Thanks a lot.